Hello, friends, enemies, and those undecided. Will here with another monthly update for Age of the Deep for the month of May, I believe. It's almost the end of June right now when you guys are watching this, because I am really behind. So here, real quick, I just made a couple of tests for the character bio entries when you're selecting a character. I just tried to see what would work. That's why there's three different sizes of text there. And then I actually managed to get quite a bit of writing done from the writer, Nerdic translator. He wrote quite a bit for the first several quests that I'm going to input in here. And I'm going to pass all that over to the voice actors at some point too. And then other than that, I spent most of the month, specifically the last 2 weeks of last month, working on a trailer for the video game. The first trailer for anything I've ever made ever. Never knew what DaVinci was. Never used the sequencer in Unreal Engine. I had to give myself 2 weeks to crunch it for the Pitch a Game event on social media. So I just kind of studied a bunch of movies and movie trailers to see how the camera tracks worked. And were set up with the angles and the panning and pitching and rolling and all that stuff. And then I replicated that as best I could in my own trailers. And then I collaborated with the composer Grant Holzhauer and the voice actress for Maury, Danny Finn, to sing a song that I wrote for the trailer. And that was kind of cool. It came out like a little sea shanty almost, but the 2 weeks that they were working on that, I was just crunching and editing video, trying to figure out how to make all that work. And the sequencer in Unreal wouldn't work for me, so I had to learn that they updated it to Movie Render Queue. That spit a bunch of images out that I then had to learn how to use DaVinci Resolve to render those images to the movie. And then that came out at 1080p, and there was a lot of artifacting involved in that. And then I had to reshoot everything so it would be in 4K 60 frames per second for most of the footage, just because it looked bad at 1080p. And then I kind of ran out of things to talk about, and I guess that happens sometimes. I don't even know what time it is right now. 9:52 p.m. Here you go, where this is loaded up here on where you see the camera swooping over the ocean, diving in. I just did 2 separate test levels for this with cameras all over the place for the sequencer cameras. Different tracks. I learned to control the player character or a copy of the player character to pull off some of the Aquaman style swimming that we're doing for this game. And then there's another test level with a bunch of different various scenes that we added in there. This is all very pretty. And I'm kind of thinking, like, as rough as this kind of looks, that this still looks pretty dang good for my first attempt. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens when I make a second trailer, because it's only going to get better from here, right? Right? Guys, where are you going? Y'all got to support me. Y'all got to love this as much as I love it. Come on. Okay, that's why that part looked bad. That's why that wasn't on the trailer. So, click subscribe. Have fun. Talk to y'all later. Bye.